Hello friends, welcome to Online Web Tutor. I am Sanjay. In this video we'll discuss a very important point of CodeIgniter 4, and that is how to set up a cron job. If I back to editor. So in this video we'll discuss a lots of things regarding cron jobs inside CodeIgniter 4, but let's start with its definition first. So what are cron jobs? So cron jobs basically some functions which executes in background inside application. For example, if we want to send some newsletters, some emails to our registered users. If we want to create some application logs, so by the help of cron jobs we can create that. In case if we want to create some backup of application, so we can do using cron jobs. So cron jobs are those functions inside any of the application which runs in backgrounds to manage application. So in this video we'll see a step-by-step guide to set up a cron job inside a CodeIgniter 4. So here I have opened my Visual Studio Code and here imported a CodeIgniter 4 project. If I open .env file, as we can see that this application is connected with a database. Let's go back to browser. So if we want to work with the cron job, as simple as that, the first we need to search cron job CodeIgniter 4 inside search engine. So here we can see our GitHub repository, that is /cron job. So if I click on that link, it will redirect to a GitHub repository. So it's a composer package. By the help of that we can do some stuff regarding cron job inside CodeIgniter 4. So as we can see that to install this composer package, here we have the command available. So what I will do, I will copy this composer command. Let's go inside our project terminal, paste that command. So it will be composer require /cron job. Press enter. It will take some time to install inside application. So successfully, as we can see that our composer package now installed. So in this video, what we are going to do via cron job. So as simple as that, what we'll do by using the concept of cron jobs, we'll create some application log. It means after every minute, a cron job will execute and create an application log. So we'll see inside this video. So as we can see that our package now installed, let's go inside GitHub repository. So this is all about installation via composer, but in case if you are interested to install this package using manual, so here we have the manual installation process. Now let's go here. This is all about configuration. So here we have a command available. By the help of that we can generate a cronjob.php file, and this is the very important file to actually work with this package. So before executing this command, let's go back to terminal, and here if I will type php spark to open our spark command list. So once we type that command php spark, so at the bottom of this command list we can see here we have a section of cron job, and this section automatically added once we install that composer package. Inside this cron job we can see cron job :assets, cron job :disable, cron job :enable. So here we have multiple commands available. So in this command list, if I go again to this GitHub repository, so here we can see that php spark cron job publish. So this command we can find inside this terminal, and here it is. Look at its single line description, publish the cron job runner. So this file what will generate is the very important file to work with cron jobs. So let's generate that. So first I will clear my terminal. So php spark, if I go inside our command list, so it will be php spark cron job :publish. So I will copy this command, go here, let's press enter. So it is asking publish config file. So I will press yes, press enter. Now as you can see that it has created a file called cronjob.php inside config folder. Let's go back to editor, go inside app, config, and now inside this folder we'll see cronjob.php. So by the help of this file, actually we will schedule our cron job, that at what time, at what period the cron job will execute. So if I scroll down, Now we can see that at the bottom of this cron job file, here we have a method called init. So in this method, we will write our scheduler. By the help of that scheduler, we will execute our cron job function. So first of all, we need to create a function so that we can schedule to execute on a certain period of time. So let's go back to documentation. So after this generation of this cronjob.php, now again we have a command available called php spark migrate. So I will copy and make sure that before executing this migrate command, make sure that your application should be connected with the database. So this application already connected. So I will go inside project terminal and type php spark migrate and all is the flag. So press enter. Running all new migrations, and as we can see that some migration files of this daily cron job package now executed and migrated inside our database. So if I go inside our database, click on structure, now as we can see that a new table now added inside this database. Go inside that table, go to structure. So in this table we can see we have lots of columns. Let's go back to editor. Now we need to create a function, and after that inside that function we'll write some code. By the help of that code we can create our application log. So once we create that function, then we need to attach with a certain time period, and then we'll schedule our cron by the help of this cronjob.php. Let's go back to terminal. So here let's create a controller first, php spark make controller, and let's call it as background, and I will attach suffix as a flag. So it will create a file called backgroundcontroller.php. Press enter. So as we can see that now we have a new controller. Let's go back to editor, app, controllers, and background controller.php. So in this index method, I will write some code. By the help of that code we'll create our application log. So in this index method, I will use a helper function of PHP, or we can call it as CodeIgniter for helper function, and that is log_message. So if I type log_message, now we can see that inside this IntelliSense, first we need to pass the label and second we need to pass a message. So before generating any log message, first we need to understand the basic concept of creating log. So if I go inside config folder, inside this config folder, we'll see a file called logger.php, and here it is. So this is the basic configuration file. By the help of that, we can actually tell our application that how application log will work. So if I scroll down to this logger class, so we can see that here we have multiple threshold options. So what basically these thresholds are, it means when we log any application log for this application, so these messages actually we can log inside a logger file. So these are actually thresholds inside our comment section. If I scroll down, so here we have a variable called public threshold. So in this case, we have a value called 4 and 9. So if application's environment variable value equals to production, so it will go and 4. It means it will log our runtime errors. Otherwise, in development mode, it will go and log our 9 flag. It means all messages. So let's say that for this video, I want to log messages for this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, means all these flag messages I want to log inside our logger file. So what I will do, I will go and let's remove this value from here, create an array, and from 1 to 7, I have passed all these values here. So by the help of these values, we are telling our application that inside a logger file, these logs should be created. If in case any emergency messages, alert messages, critical messages, up to from information, so all these messages if generates inside application, you need to log inside logger file. So this is an instruction we are giving to this application. Now next, this is all about date format, which basically attached with the logger file name. Now next, here we have another variable called handlers. Inside these handlers, we can see these are the handles which works on the basis of the threshold value. Scroll down. Now next here we have some extensions, some file permission, and this is all about an important variable or important key, important value, that is all about path. So in this application where actually we want to save our application log. So for the time being, I'm interested to save all the application log inside this public folder. So right here I will pass as public, save this value, close this logger file. Now we have done all about our basic settings to generate a log inside CodeIgniter 4. Now let's go inside this background controller index method and right here inside this helper function. So log underscore message, look at IntelliSense, we can pass all about our label value. Inside label we can see here we have the label available called emergency. Let's click on this helper function. So I am just pressing Ctrl and click. So this is all about our helper function. And here we can see that log labels are emergency, alert, critical, error, warning, notice, info, and debug. So in this case, let's say for the first message, I want to log an alert message. Let's say this is an alert message. Let's copy this line, put 3 more times. In the second, I want to log a label called info. This is an info message. Next, I will log, let's say, a warning message. This is a warning message. And finally, I will put a notice here. So notice, so this is a notice message. So successfully, as we can see that inside this index method, we have 4 lines of code, and by the help of that, we are logging some application logs inside our logger file. Let's create quickly a route for this. So I will go and open from config folder routes.php. So scroll down here, let's say routes. I will use get method, and here let's say my logs. It will call background controller. Let's go inside controller file, copy the class name. So background controller, and we'll call index method. Let's quickly execute and see that how basically our log function works. So back to terminal. Let's start development server. So PHP Spark serve. Development server is started. If I go back to browser and here, let's go back to application and let's copy our route, and that will be my -logs. So I will copy that back to browser, put a / and my -logs. So there is no output, but don't worry, let's go back to application, go inside our public folder. Now we can see that a file name called public log - this is all about our date format. So if I click on that file, now we can see that all the application logs now logged inside this file. Look at here all about our logs label. This is all about our alert message, info, warning, and notice. So these are the labels what we instructed by the help of logger.php to this application. Now we have a background controller. It's a controller now ready to log our application log. Now next, we need to attach this method with our cron job setup so that instead of executing this function or this URL manually, it will hit automatically from a background process. So what are those steps? By the help of that, we can set up this function or method to execute automatically. So let's see all about our cron action. Back to documentation, it means GitHub repository. So in this documentation, we can see we have lots of stuff. Scroll down. So as we can see, scheduling URL calls. So what I will do, I will go here, or let's copy that. Go here inside terminal. I will open from config cron job.php. Go inside init method. And inside this init method, let's go and remove all this command line first. Put it here. So here we have schedule. It's an object. By the help of this object, we are calling a URL method. Inside this URL, we need to pass our application URL or our function URL. By the help of that, we can execute our own functions. So to hit to this index method where we are logging our application logs, the URL will be something called localhost 8080 port /mylogs. So what I will do, I will copy this route, go here, go inside cronjob.php. So instead of passing our static URL, I will use base URL function, and inside here I will pass my -logs. And by default, as we can see, this is all our scheduled time period. So here it is instructing to execute this cron function via this URL every 5 minutes. But we want every minute. So let's go again back to documentation. So here we have the frequency options. Inside this frequency options, we can see we have lots of options available, but we want to use every minute. So if I go and scroll down, we can see here we have an option available called every minute. So when we pass any value here, it means that the cron function will execute after every 20 minutes. Let's go back to editor. So here, instead of using every 5 minutes, I will go and remove that arrow operator, and it will be every minute. Again go here, let's check that. Let's copy this frequency option method name and put it here. Now this time, this URL will be hit inside every minute. And one more parameter I will use it here called named. Let's check from its documentation. If I search for named here, now as we can see, it is named. And this is all about a name value for this cron job. So let's say that my cron job. Save this change. Now if I go inside our terminal, let's start development server. So if I type PHP Spark, press enter. So inside this command list, we can see here we have a cron job section, and from this section, if we execute cron job list, it will display and list all the cron jobs what we have created. So let's use that command. So I will copy cron job :list. So it will be PHP Spark cron job :list. And here it's a warning here, task running is currently disabled. So to actually list all the cron jobs, first of all, we need to enable that. Again, if I type PHP Spark, so here we have a command called cron job enable. So once we use this command, that it will enable our cron job functionalities. So PHP Spark cron job enable. Now cron job is now enabled. If I execute this command cron job :list, now we can see that here we have a tabular format, and inside this name equal to my cron job, and this is the same name what we have passed here. Go back to terminal. So here we have type equals to URL. It means that we are executing our cron job via this method, via this URL. And next we have our expression. It means that it will execute every minute. So to test what we can do here, let's start development server, PHP Spark serve, press enter, development server started. Let's open one more terminal for this application. So Ctrl+Shift+T. Now I have one more terminal tab for this application. So in this tab, here we have our application development server started. In this tab, let's go, and from documentation, I will execute this command called PHP Spark cron job :run. This command is useful to actually execute and test what the cron job we have created. So I will go and copy this command back to terminal. Once we press enter, so this command will execute all about our init method, and from init method it will hit this URL. And to actually execute this URL, means to execute this URL, first thing first, our development server should be started. So that's why here we have our started our development server, and into the next tab we are executing our cron. So before execution, if I go inside our application logs, public, this is our log. So currently we have only 4 lines of code. Go and press enter. Running task, processing and executed. Again, if I go inside the log file, now we can see that again we have 4 lines of code, and this is because by the help of that command actually we executed our mylogs URL, and this URL points to our index method, and from index method we are logging our messages. So successfully everything is working fine. Now we can schedule this cron job to run automatically every minute from cron tab. So what I will do, let's go back to terminal. I will type command called cron tab -l. This is the command. By the help of that we can check that how many crons actually by default are available to our system for execution. So if I press enter, as we can see there is no cron tab. So to add any cron job to actually run automatically, let's type cron tab -e. Press enter. Now it has provided some options, and these are our editor options. Once we select any option, it will open that editor to actually add our cron job to execute automatically. So let's select our first option, which is recommended, and that will be most easiest. So I will pass 1 here, press enter. Now we can see that it has opened a nano editor. So inside here we can add our cron job. Let's go again to the documentation. Scroll up, and now as we can see that starting the scheduler. So this is the command we need to add inside our cron tab. So if I copy this command, back to slide. If I type here, so this is all about our instruction to cron job to execute every minute. CD, this is all about our project path. Let's go back to our folder structure. This is our project folder. I will copy the whole path. Back to slide. Let's remove from here. This is logical AND operator, and this is the command to execute our cron job. So everything is now fine. I will copy this command, copy, back to terminal. This is all about to add our cron job. So let's paste here. I have added this command into this cron tab. I will press Ctrl X and press Y to save this cron, means this cron link to this cron tab. So pressing Y, pressing enter. Now as you can see that installing new cron tab. Again if we type called cron tab -l, now we can see that inside this list now we have our single job added. So automatically this line of code will execute our cron job every minute. This is all about the instruction. So this is all about the instruction to execute our cron job, but inside our cron job it will check that inside this file that at what time period we are executing our function. So we are executing our function every minute, and if we go here, so it will execute every minute to this application. Running this function means running this command, and this command actually triggers our init method, and init method is doing all the stuff. By the help of that we are logging our messages. Let's go inside our log file. Now we can see here 4 messages we have added by using our manual URL. 4 messages we added while testing our cron job, and this is added automatically, means it is executing every minute. If I go here, wait for 1 minute more. Again if I will open that file, so hopefully we'll see 4 more lines. Let's wait for 1 minute more. And now as we can see that automatically these 4 lines of code now added. So this is all about how to set up and execute a cron job inside a CodeIgniter for application. So if we're talking about the steps, what we followed here, let's go and remove this line. So first is all about to install Composer package. Next, to add our job inside cronjob.php file inside init method. Next we need to create, let's go inside slide. Next we need to create our background process, or we may call it as cron job. So after creating that function, first we need to check or execute that function manually from application. So manual testing of job execution. Then we need to enable task scheduler from command like what we had done here. If I type php spark, so by the help of this command called enabled, we have enabled that. And one more thing, in future if you want to disable your cron job, as simple as that, you need to type cron job disable. Back to slide. So by the help of this fifth number line, we can enable and disable our task scheduler. Line number 6, we need to add our task into cron tab, and by the help of cron tab -e command, we can add our task scheduler command inside that cron tab, and by the help of that, actually we will automate all the systems automatically. So this is all about the process to execute a cron job inside CodeIgniter 4. If you want some documentation from my side, let's go inside this. So in this website, you will find some useful resources like create automated logs every 2 hours inside CodeIgniter 4. If I will open this article into a new tab, you will find a useful guide, useful documentation to set up a cron job in every steps what we had seen inside this video. So you can go and also learn all about the documentation from this article. So successfully, by the help of this video, now we have done a cron job processing inside this video. So for this video session guys, thank you for watching and have a great day.